Wes, we are live. Shockingly, we're shockingly live, despite the fact that we're both running a little bit late today. How are you doing, man? It's Silent Hill Day. I don't know if you saw Walmart Canada is also celebrating. They put their logo on the Silent Hill sign. Might be the coolest advertisement I've ever seen in my life. Walmart says it's Silent Hill Day. And they put
I've never wanted to be Canadian more. That's awesome.
It's pretty good, man. But this is exciting because we've obviously been hearing rumors about Silent Hill, new games, for such a long time now. And it's finally coming to fruition. We think it's coming to fruition. They said this. The tweet that they put out about this Silent Hill transmission is, that we're going to find out what's happening next in the Silent Hill series. They didn't actually specifically say games. How confident are you, Wes, that we're going to see some games today?
Well, I was pretty confident from the time that they shared that with us. I'm extremely confident now because our friend the Snitch, and I say our friend, he's not our friend at all, but our only true leaker that we ever really quote on this channel and on our channel, actually been active today a little bit, giving us some clues. So I'm pretty confident we're going to see at least one game, probably more than that today.
Yeah, it would be nice after all this time, all the silence, we actually got information on all the Silent Hill games in development, and we've been hearing mostly, I think, about two games, and it was the heavily rumored ones were the Silent Hill 2 remake, which purportedly is coming from Bloober Team. That's been what all the scuttlebutt has been pointing to. I've never used the word scuttlebutt on a gamescast or a podcast in my entire life, so I'm glad you guys were all here with me for that. Thank you. It was more pleasant than I expected it to be. But also the other one is a new Silent Hill game. Any thoughts, Wes, on what a new Silent Hill game could entail? Is it time to reboot this franchise? Is it time to just tell a completely different story, with brand new enemies and whatever else, or is it time to just give us a new entry into the series?
I think it's going to be a continuation of one of the older stories. Now, I am no Silent Hill scholar here. I remember playing the games, or some of the games, the early ones, back in the day. I remember liking them. I don't remember much about them. But from what I understand, and I stopped myself from really going in deep on the spoilers. This stuff did leak a few weeks back, and I think the Snitch's clue earlier today was referring to one of those leaks. And I started reading into it, and I think it said that it was the continuation of some, popular character story. I think maybe even the one that PT was speculated to revolve around.
Interesting.
But I stopped myself there. There's clips and everything available out there. I think a demo. I think they said that a demo would be coming for this one, much like PT. But I stopped there. I didn't read any further. I just shut it down so that I could experience it fresh here with all the game cats today.
I love it, man. I love it. That is sort of like, it's really been a catch-22 over the last 6 years doing this channel, because sometimes you're privy to information before it happens, and sometimes shit gets leaked, and that has nothing to do with running a channel. And so allowing yourself to still feel like that kid on Christmas morning, allowing yourself to still maintain some of that element of surprise is always a challenge. And I'm thrilled that you didn't look too deep into it, because I didn't look too deep into it.
Nice.
But I will say, on the complete opposite side of that coin is that when Resident Evil Village finally got shown for PSVR 2, even though that had been heavily rumored for like 2 years, we'd heard from all sorts of directions that shit was going to happen. Nothing made it more real than seeing it on a state of play. And I still felt such an amazing sense of satisfaction and happiness to know that it was finally coming. So it's kind of the same deal here with Silent Hill, if you ask me. Just knowing that we're actually going to see something officially from Konami after all of these leaks. It's all going to be real. I do want to say real quick here, we've got like a minute before their stream starts, but I don't know what the first 10 minutes entails. It could just be a 10-minute countdown. It could be a retrospective. It could be anything. So I'm like kind of at the ready to switch over to their stream, even mid-sentence. Offcore with the £2 says, no other place I'd rather see this reveal. Thank you, Offcore. And I think there's no, as much as I love Wes and as much as I love AJ, I think Wes is the perfect co-host to be here for this. I think we are the resident horror aficionados. Thank you so much, Offcore.
Yeah, it's about time, man. You know, it's October is almost over with now, and I feel like I'm just getting started with it. But yeah, man, what a way to kick it off with some new Silent Hill news.
Yeah, I do have this tendency to, even though that, and don't mind me, I'm still doing like work behind the scenes here. Even though I love the Halloween season always comes with a little bit of unintended nonsense from a personal standpoint. Some awful shit that comes up every October, and I always struggle to get through the season a little bit. And so my goal is to always have like this amazing Halloween extravaganza starting from October 1st on without Parole, and then next thing you know, it's we've got 10 days left in the month, and I haven't done a goddamn thing yet. So are you planning anything on your channel for the Halloween season?
Just a little bit heavier focus on horror related stuff as we can get it in. Subsequently tonight, we're featuring 2 horror titles on our stream. Strangers in the Night. We're going to do the remaster of The Exorcist Legion VR, which I haven't played for a couple of years, so that was a nice one to get into. And then we're doing a flat mod into VR, a game called Tortured Souls, I think it's called.
Oh,
it's an old school Resident Evil / Silent Hill style game, very much a tribute to those
it's Tormented Souls. I've actually played the first few hours of it, and it's good. Have you gotten deep into it?
I played the first few hours of it.
Okay.
And we're going to play a little bit more after the transmission here. So yeah,
nice.
We'll have our thoughts on that later. It really translates well over to the 3D injector. There was already a profile set up for it in a tool we use called Reshade. So it was really easy to install and set up. It was plug and play, and it works very well.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta get back to that. I thought that game would be perfect to play on Switch, and so I've got it on Switch, and now I need to play it on Switch. Looper, the Underground Game Cat with the €2 says, "Are you streaming tomorrow's event as well?" Yeah, guys, don't forget that Silent Hill is today, and then Resident Evil is tomorrow. And tomorrow they're focusing on Resident Evil 4 Remake and the Resident Evil Village Gold Edition. Hopefully, we'll get more information on the PSVR 2 stuff for both of those games, as many people have pointed out to me. This is taking place exactly 1 year from the Quest version of the Resident Evil 4 VR release in Japan. And so if there was a 1 year exclusivity, then it's time to start talking about the PSVR 2 version of Resident Evil 4. GB the Scuttlebutt Cuddlecat, that's a great name. Good job. $2 tip says, SHVR, Silent Hill VR hype train is chugging and tugging at my heart. Agreed. Let's switch over real quick here. I want to make sure we don't miss anything. Let's see. I just want to make sure. Is it just a black screen for everybody? Let's see. Interact here.
Spooky.
Right? It said it was starting soon, and now it's just a black screen, and I can't interact with it. So
Konami changed their mind. Go home, everyone. Nothing to see here.
Right? Very, very interesting. Here, I'm going to turn the volume on it up. Just, is there volume on it? Is there anything to...
I don't know. I have it muted, I think. Maybe.
I'm going to turn it up so the second...
it's just a black screen for me. Like, it's not even giving me like controls, like a play button or anything.
Yeah, same. I'm glad I'm glad it's the same for you, because... yeah, this is very interesting. Very interesting.
Almost like a Pimax reveal.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Back in 6 months.
This is weird because usually it would just be the the hold screen or the thumbnail image, and this is very weird. Huh. All right. Well, hopefully everything's working okay. Like, I mean,
maybe it's a Kojima ARG.
maybe.
No, I think it's more likely just jank.
So it's saying, people in the chat are saying other channels have videos. So here I'm gonna investigate that.
Or you're watching it on
YouTube.
Oh, it's a video. I refreshed it and now there's a 48-minute video.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hold on a second. Let's
That's interesting. We can scroll. It's not live.
That's really weird. I've never seen that before, especially for something that's supposedly a premiere type thing. All right, here, let me refresh.
There's 10 minutes at the front of the video of gray screen, but you can scroll through it totally.
10 minutes of gray screen, perfect. Well, that's not what we're looking for. All right, here, I can bring it up. It shouldn't be a problem, and we can skip the 10 minutes of gray screen.
Yeah, there's like a countdown, like a counter thing, and like missed. I think they've screwed up royally here.
Seems like it. Here, for whatever reason,
so we've got a 40-minute video, or just shy of 40 minutes after the counter expires.
I got to bring up something else to bring up something else. I don't know what's going on here. Here we go. Now that we're watching the Rec Room thing, we can watch.
So I'm going to just cue it up on like the 1 second mark, and then whenever you want to say go, I'll hit play on it.
All right, man. All right. So let's go. Let me make sure it's full screen here. And
all right, so I'm paused on the rating pending ESRB.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's less impactful this way, but at least we got it. Here it is, rating pending. Let's do it.
Boom. Cockroach. It's him.
Could she really be here, waiting for me? Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill.
I know what you are. I know why I needed you. But it's all over now. I don't need you anymore. I'm ready.
Love it.
Wes, we can pause between these things. We can.
I know it. It's awesome. Just let me know if you're going to do that, so I can do it too.
Let's get through it all, man. I just kind of need to take it all in. I think as fast as possible.
Welcome to Silent Hill Transmission, the show that keeps you informed about Silent Hill. My name is Selena, and I'll be your facilitator. Thank you very much for having me. And?
サイレントヒルシリーズのプロデューサーを務める岡本元井です。今日はよろしくお願いします。まずはじめにサイレントヒル2の映像をご覧いただきました。そしてですね、より詳しくお伝えするために一緒にゲームを作っている人をお呼びしています。では早速ご紹介いたします。コンセプトアーティストの伊藤正弘さんです。伊藤さん、今日はよろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
改めまして岡本さん、伊藤さん、サイレントヒルが帰ってくるんですね。
はい、そうなんです。ファンの皆さん、本当に大変お待たせしました。サイレントヒルが帰ってきて、その第一弾としてサイレントヒル2をリメイクいたします。伊藤さんにお声掛けしてからそろそろ3年ですよね。
いや、本当長かったですよね。でもこうしてこのタイトルをまたこう再始動できるっていうそのタイミングを皆さんにお伝えできるっていうことに僕はすごく興奮しております。
伊藤さんの場合、ツイッターにもすごくファンの方がコメントされているので、もう隠してるのが大変だったんじゃないですか。
いや、そうなんですよ。岡本さんに苦情されてましたからそのことに本当にファンからいろいろ質問されて、それをのらりくらりと交わすのが大変でして、
いや、僕らもちょっと脇で見ていてちょっとドキドキしておりました。それでですね、サイレントヒルといえばもう一方、作曲家の山岡明さん。山岡さんとも一緒に作っているんですけれども、ちょっと本日はですね、残念ながらこの場に来られなかったのでビデオメッセージをお預かりしております。どうぞご覧ください。
山岡です。もう21年ですか、20年以上経った作品でリメイクという形でまた新しい作品としてですね、蘇るということで、個人的にも僕的にもすごく嬉しく思っています。当時はいろいろチャレンジしようというか、ビデオゲームっていう中でも新しいものというか、今までにないものをテーマとしても作ろうみたいなところもあって、当時ディレクターがドストエフスキーの罪と罰を読んでくださいって言われて、何を作るんだろうなと。で、音楽ももちろんですけど、模索というか、すごいいろいろチャレンジしてた思いではあります。このタイトルであれば、新しい音楽っていうものを作り上げられるかなっていうのは、すごい感じてました。未だに20年経ってもですね、サイレントヒルっていうタイトルがみんなの心の中に残ってるっていうのは、僕はすごくやってよかったというか、本当にこの上ない嬉しさというか、気持ちでもあります。で、リメイクに関しても、またさらに新しい音楽性であったり、新しいチャレンジもそうかもしれないですし、従来のファンの方にもきちっと届けられる、心に刺さるサウンドデザインだったり、音楽だったり。もちろん、サイレントヒルを知らない、サイレントヒル2を知らないユーザーさんにとっても、その時、サイレントヒル2が初めて出た時のインパクトというか、衝撃というか、作れたらいいなと思っています。皆さんもぜひ楽しみにしていてください。
山岡さん、ありがとうございます。コナミのサウンドね、若いスタッフみんな山岡さんのことを尊敬しているので、みんなワクワクしながら一緒に仕事させていただいております。そしてですね、日本だけでなく制作チームについてのお話もさせてください。今回のサイレントヒル2はポーランドのホラーゲームのスペシャリストブルーバーチームで制作しています。彼らからコメントと制作風景をいただいてますので、こちらもどうぞご覧ください。
Silent Hill 2 is a cult classic, and it's widely recognized as one of the best games ever made.
For many Bluebird team members, Silent Hill is the title which made them fall in love in horror games. This is why we approach our work with a great respect to original game.
Agreed.
To ensure that we are keeping this unique Silent Hill atmosphere intact, we are working closely with original creators such as Masahiro Ito and Akira Yamaoka.
We want Silent Hill 2 to make the same strong impression today that the original game did 21 years ago. While we want to achieve the same end result, players' expectations evolve over time, and certain things need to be modernized to have the same or similar effect. For example, that's why we went with the over-the-shoulder camera, so we can immerse players into the game world as much as possible.
We are creating a synergy where new or modernized mechanics and features actually support the original spirit of Silent Hill 2. Combining the old with the new is no easy task, but we believe we are on the right track.
To put it simply, our goal is to recreate everything what made the game a timeless classic, but give it a new form which will draw players even deeper into the foggy streets of Silent Hill.
すごいです。この現場からサイレントヒル2が生まれたんですね。
そうなんですよ。もう彼らは本当にホラーゲームとサイレントヒルが大好きで、コナミってサイレントヒルに関しては世界中のチームから毎年のように提案をいただくんですけれども、その中でも彼らは最もですね情熱的ですごく愛を感じました。
素晴らしい。
伊藤さんも一緒にポーランド行きましたよね。
はい、年の瀬の寒いポーランドに行きましたね。
で何度も何度もねお酒を飲み、語り合い、
でもカムさんがねこう酔っ払って
そうですね一緒にもうお酒を飲みながらホラーゲームの未来、そしてサイレントヒルの未来について熱く語り、そしてゲームを一緒に作るということですね。ところでですね、先ほどの映像にもロゴが出ておりましたけれども、サイレントヒル2はプレイステーション5で発売予定です。そこでプレイステーション5の発売元のソニーインタラクティブエンターテインメントさんからもコメントをいただいております。ビデオメッセージをどうぞご覧ください。
Hello everyone, my name is Christian Svensson and I'm the Vice President of Global Third-Party Relations at Sony Interactive Entertainment. I'm extremely excited to hear about the announcement of Silent Hill 2. Congratulations, this is definitely a celebratory moment, and we're looking forward to bringing Silent Hill 2 exclusively to PlayStation 5. Being huge fans of the franchise, our team at SIE feels fortunate and excited to support the revival of Silent Hill. Okamoto-san, we eagerly await hearing more about what's in store for this beloved franchise. Thank you again for your partnership.
応援ありがとうございます。サイレントヒルはプレイステーションとともに成長してきたシリーズです。プレイステーション向けに発売できて非常に嬉しいですね。
皆様のサイレントヒル2に寄せる期待がすごいですね。私自身サイレントヒル2の大ファンなので、もうお話聞いてるだけでますます楽しみになってきました。
ありがとうございます。ファンの皆様にはですね、本日からプレイステーション5のスターページもオープンしていますので、そちらの方もチェックしてみてください。よろしくお願いします。
そうなんですね。わかりました。ファンとしてすぐにチェックさせていただきます。それではこの回はこのあたりで、岡本さん、伊藤さん、ありがとうございました。私たちのいる世界も変わってきましたよ。
はい。このイベントはサイレントヒル2だけでは終わらないんです。今後は世界中の才能あふれるクリエイターたちとサイレントヒルの世界をさらに拡大していきます。
まだ続きがあるんですか？
はい。そしてその新しいビジョンの一つをお披露目することができるんです。ビデオの方をご覧ください。
Why are you here? No, in this place. Why are you here? You're to be punished. That's good, I like it. You know what, I think you're right. I think we've done something so awful. We are stuck here in this place, being judged by these people. But for you, I think it's more than that. I think you're here for some other reason. And I don't want to be anywhere near you.
Hi, my name is John McKellen. I'm the creative director at No Code, and we are working on Silent Hill Townfall. I remember playing the original Silent Hill on PS1 back in 1999 and became a fan from that moment on. So for us to work on this game with our friends at Annapurna feels like an actual dream come true. It's a real honour for us to bring a new title to this series that both respects the source material, but also does something a little bit different with it. To say that Silent Hill has been an inspiration to No Code would be a massive understatement. Our previous two games, Stories Untold and Observation, both played with that same deep psychological horror. And at No Code, we're all about weaving that narrative and that experience into every aspect of our game design, our audio, our visuals, even our UI. So obviously the teaser trailer is just the beginning, and we can't show you any more just yet. We're going to be hard at work for a while, but we can't wait to come back in the new year and show you more. Until then, it might be worth watching that trailer again and see what you might have missed.
予告編には鳥肌が立ちました。期待もやっぱ高いんですけれども、これはどのようなきっかけで始まったんでしょうか。
はい、実はちょっとしたカリフォルニアでのランチミーティングから始まったんですよ。アンナプルナインタラクティブとノーコードの大ファンだったので、この絶好の機会を必ず成功させたいと思ってます。サイレントヒルの新作を一緒に作ってくれるこれ以上ないパートナーだと思ってます。
そうなんですか。この他にも新たなパートナーはいらっしゃるんでしょうか。
はい、まだ今日は言えないんですけれども、同様に素晴らしい才能を持ったチームと今後のパートナーシップを拡大していく予定です。
それは素晴らしいですね。タウンフォールが楽しみです。
ありがとうございます。ではタウンフォールの話はひとまずここまでにして、次の話題に移っていきたいと思います。
次は何でしょう。
実はサイレントヒルはゲーム以外の展開もあるんです。ここではその情報をお伝えしていきます。
なるほど、また新しい楽しみが増えますね。ではここでアシスタントプロデューサー内藤瑠衣さんをお迎えして、その新たな展開について伺っていきましょう。内藤さん、お願いいたします。
サイレントヒルの IP 展開、クロスメディア展開を担当しています内藤です。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。内藤さん、今回はどんな情報をお持ちいただいたんでしょうか。
今回はですね、サイレントヒルゲームの復活のきっかけともなった映画化の話です。数年前にもともと作ってた映画のプロデューサーの方から最新作作りたいという提案をいただきました。監督は第1作の方を演出されたクリストフ・ガンズ氏が手掛けると。でさらにいいプロット、いい企画をいただいて、これはいい映画になるぞというところで進めてきました。ただですね、映画だけでいいのかというところもあって、これはゲームを復活させたいということもあって、隣にいるプロデューサーの岡本と一緒に、ゲームと一緒に復活する道のりを歩んできたという感じになります。
なるほど、素晴らしいですね。
ではここでそのプロデューサー監督2名から熱いメッセージいただいているのでご覧ください。
This return is my return to a world, a universe that I have touched in 2006, 15 years ago. The film was a great success, and we decided to go back to the best of his stories, Silent Hill 2. The film is the story of a young guy coming back to Silent Hill where he has known a great love, and what he's going to find is a pure nightmare.
I have the chance of being very close with Christoph, and we together has achieved to convince Konami that there is a new version of Silent Hill that needs to be done, and they are 100% on board.
In the first Silent Hill, we were exploring a world, the world of this small town, completely closed into the mist. It was like being trapped into a Twilight Zone. But in the second game, the creator of the game have changed the rules, We were basically going back to Silent Hill, the same town, but we were looking this strange world entirely through the point of view of the hero we were playing.
Mary, could you really be in this town?
He realized that Mary is lost somewhere into this strange place.
At its core, it's also the idea of the myth of Orpheus. And whatever a man can go deep in hell to bring back the soul or the person he loved the most in his life.
So it's much more about psychological horror, even if we are going to find again all the same creature and the same strange terror sequence, something like that. But the first big interrogation and the first big terror is about ourselves. Are we mad? Are we sane? Are we sane to go back to Silent Hill to find this great love?
This one now has so many years from the first one that there is a clear idea from Christoph to make it modern, but also very true to the video game. And that's also what it is. We are also respecting the will of the author, the producers, and Konami into this adaptation. Christoph, it's really somebody that respects the work that has been done, but that also has his own vision. It nurtures the creative vision of the authors from the game, but with a different vision from a filmmaker. And both, they have created, I believe, something that has struck the minds of the fans.
Stop! Leave her alone!
The game of Silent Hill franchise were great artistic achievement, and I have a responsibility to transpose that on a big screen, you know.
Christoph is a real gamer. He has been immersed in this world.
That's why the first film was so well received by the fans of Silent Hill, because they felt that I was one of them, and it was so...
Wes, this is crazy, man. Like, this is... We're only like 15 minutes in. We're halfway through or so, right?
The start of everything.
Yeah, now, right?
Everything starts from this respect. So
I'm waiting for the stuff that's going to suck. I haven't
Right.
seen it yet.
Where's the pachinko machines?
Quite a charge, quite a goal, which is how to transpose the language of the game, which is entirely about immersion, into a tale, into a story that we can tell in 90 or 100 minutes.
The monsters are also one of the key elements that the fans are waiting for. And we are updating those in a way that the creation is similar, but they will be striking.
For me, one of my major goals in this film is how to redesign the classic monster of Silent Hill. I was talking about Red Pyramid, you know, this big guy with the helmet, you know. He's, again, in this one. Some of the creatures of the film of back in 2006 were very, very appreciated by the fan. But in the same time, for me, it was important to come back with surprise.
It's a new universe, it's a new challenge, and those are very important to bring these icons differently to the audience, because they want them to have that wow effect.
That's why, you know, I found a very interesting collaboration with the people of Konami. They helped me a lot to achieve this new design of the monster, because they are also working on new episodes for the franchise of Silent Hill.
The younger audience, they want that collective experience. They want to be with their friends, they want to talk about it, but they want also to live that experience together.
We all know that watching an horror film alone at his home is quite different of being into a big theater with a crowd and everybody jumping at the same time. It's very different.
We are modernizing, we are giving him what the audience of today is really wanting. We are trying to do as much as possible, creating a new experience for that audience. Could be more immersive, interactive, and we have now new technologies, but we still have what makes the best is the story. And this story is at the core of it. So we hope that Return to Silent Hill will be a great return.
And if we want to keep the link with the audience, you know, we have to be perfectly aware that everything has changed in 15 years. Everything has been washed away, you know. We have to bring back something, you know, very surprising.
プロデューサー監督ありがとうございました。
ゲームを映画に負けないように頑張っていこうと思ってます。映画とゲーム両方を最高のクオリティにしてファンにお届けしたいと思ってます。
もうファンとしては両方とも本当に楽しみです。内藤さん、映画もゲームもまだまだこれからだと思うんですけれども、今後の予定などってお聞きすることってできますでしょうか？
さっきの映像の中にもあったと思うんですけど、すでに絵コンテとかイメージボードとかあるんですけど、実は撮影とかキャスティングはまだこれからなんですね。今後いろいろ映画の方も山場がいっぱいあると思うんで、こちらの方もゲームと一緒にいい作品になるように進めていきたいと思ってます。
ありがとうございます。映画も楽しみです。この配信をご覧の皆さんもぜひ楽しみにお待ちくださいね。それではこの回もそろそろ。内藤さん、岡本さん、ありがとうございました。From here, I would like to share with you some of Silent Hill related items that will help you enjoy the game even more. Here is the first one we would like to introduce. From get-go, you all very know. 1/6 scale statue
Nice.
of
Yeah,
Red Pyramid thing.
one of the cool game cats out there sent me out for the limited edition skateboards.
Designer of Silent Hill 2. Awesome. Masahiro Ito. All details are brushed up.
Red Pyramid
You can even
thing.
see the details we couldn't express because of the video
Yeah,
game spec.
not officially called Pyramid Head. Crazy enough.
The scaffold can be connected, and you can recreate the scene of the final fight against two Red Pyramid things. Up next, James Sunderland 1/6 scale statue. The realistic sculpture perfectly captures James's exhaustive facial expression. Not only the handgun, but also the wooden plank, the steel pipe, and the great knife pairing up with Red Pyramid thing can be held in his right hand. At his feet, health drinks are tossed away. Maria from Silent Hill 2 is also coming as a 1/6 scale statue. It is the very first official statue of Maria with the high quality and beautiful details. The right hand is interchangeable with a hand holding the gun, which appears in the sub-scenario Born from a Wish. Last but not least, the secret ending of Silent Hill 2, Inu End, is also recreated as a 1/6 scale coin bank statue. The diorama statue will remind you of the last scene where James collapsed to his knees and say, "So it was all your work." From here, we will introduce some products from the official Konami shop. First, Silent Hill board collection. We made a collection that encapsulates all that horror and eeriness, featuring legendary characters from the first 4 installments of the franchise. These hand-numbered limited decks are now available for pre-order. In the official Konami shop, all these products are now available. Please check it out. Here is further information about Silent Hill goods. From Crazy Rock, 1/6 scale fully articulated collectible figures of Red Pyramid Thing and Bubblehead Nurse are coming. They are high quality and fully articulated. From Good Smile Company, Pop-Up Parade Bubblehead Nurse is coming with affordable prices. Pop-Up Parade is a series of figures that are easy to collect. Each figure typically stands around 17 to 18 centimeters in height. From Bedrock Collectibles, Red Pyramid Thing and Maria Elevator Chase diorama is coming. This statue diorama captures a moment in time as Red Pyramid Thing readies to swing his great blade while Maria attempts to run away and reach the elevator in time with her outreached hand. This diorama will be coming soon to the Bedrock Collectibles website. Konami is proud to present all these items on Silent Hill e-commerce page. Don't miss it and secure your order. Now the scene has changed and we have our next guest. Our next guest is Jacob Navok. Jacob, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jacob Navok and I'm the CEO at Genvid.
Jacob, what will you be presenting this time?
I'm going to show you a new kind of Silent Hill, an experience that you haven't seen up until now.
A whole new experience. What is it all about? Please take a look at this video for hint. Well, this is going to be another world of Silent Hill. Jacob, could you please introduce your project?
For over 20 years, Silent Hill has haunted my memories. And lately, I enjoy watching streamers playing Silent Hill with their fans. We love the feeling of being scared together, of experiencing fear with friends. It's why watching horror films in the theater is so fun. Silent Hill Ascension takes that feeling of communal fear to a massive scale. It's a live, real-time interactive series where millions of fans will watch together as the chilling story unfolds. You can change its outcomes and even be a part of scenes. There is no reset button. Decisions that you make mean life or death in the story. It's your chance to shape Silent Hill canon forever. Silent Hill Ascension is brought to you by Genvid, Bad Robot, Behavior, and DJ2, and goes live in 2023. Sign up at Ascension.com for updates.
I'm so excited about this new world of Silent Hill. Here are some messages we received from two important partners in the project. Before we look at the messages, could you please introduce them?
Today we're going to hear from Bad Robot as well as Behavior.
I see. Okay, first things first. I would like to read a message from director J.J. Abrams.
Genvid's experience presents a wild, epic, and innovative new way to immerse yourself in the horrors of Silent Hill.
Next, please watch the message from the art director of Bad Robot and the creative team of Behavior Interactive.
I'm Chris Amaral from Bad Robot Games and art director for Silent Hill Ascension. Our approach to Silent Hill Ascension is to ensure we maintain the tone and the feeling that the fans have come to love from the franchise, while also adding our own twist of an oppressed, tormented, and morose dimension of reality. Silent Hill creatures are often manifested projections from the darkest depths of the main characters' minds. In Silent Hill Ascension, we build off of this. Our creatures are inspired by the personal traumas and internal demons of our characters' past lives. We want the art style to be a fresh take on the brand, while still being equally respectful to where we've been before.
In 2021, we released The Executioner and the survivor Cheryl Mason in Dead by Daylight. Today, Behavior once again will dive into the world of Silent Hill, but with a completely new experience. Here's Chris, VP Creative of our service division, to tell you all about it.
Everyone at Behavior is excited to announce our collaboration with Genvid on Silent Hill Ascension, in a new form of entertainment that blends community, live storytelling, and interactivity. Silent Hill Ascension takes you and the entire community on a unique interactive storytelling experience where the decisions you make affect the characters and the world. Those decisions become canon, and there's no reset button. This is a whole new chapter for Silent Hill, with new characters and frightful monsters, where the stakes couldn't be more real. We're thrilled to be working with the talented teams at Genvid, Bad Robot, and DJ2 to bring Silent Hill Ascension to life. Look for it to go live in 2023 and sign up at Ascension.com for updates.
I can see the new charm of Silent Hill. The fun only gets better. Jacob, what do you think of the two message videos?
I am thrilled to work with these incredible teams. Together, we're going to revolutionize what horror means in interactive media.
That's fantastic. We are excited too. I hope everyone watching this distribution is eagerly awaiting this new Silent Hill. I'm sure you will not be disappointed. Thank you, Jacob, for sharing your fascinating title with us today. Thank you for your time, Jacob.
Thank you very much.
また場所が変わりましたね。岡本さん、これはどういうことでしょうか。
はい。実は最後にもう一本サイレントヒルの完全新作の発表があります。我々が自信を持って送り出す新しいサイレントヒルです。
Thank you very much. Finally, we will leave you with that completely new video. Thank you for watching Silent Hill Transmission.
Interesting.
Well, that was a thing. Holy crap.
Yeah, they're gonna take one of the most highly anticipated returns to the franchise and make us all completely oversaturated and sick of it within 5 years.
I mean, all right. Here, there's a lot to unpack here. Let me get rid of these extra headphones. I mean, the thing is, man, it's like, think about the last we really saw from Silent Hill. Right? I know there was a lot of mixed reactions I saw in the chat, and I want to kind of address some of this. I'm sure saw Joey VR said with the $5 tip says, I don't think we're getting any PSVR 2 news or price until after the God of War releases. Possibly understandable. Pietrek F with the 12 plantains says 3 new Silent Hill games, all by B Studios. What could go wrong? Think about how Silent Hill left off. Like Homecoming didn't get great reception on PS3. Downfall didn't get a great reception on, or Downpour, right? On was that PS4, PS3? I don't fucking know at this point. It was a mess. The Vita game wasn't terribly great, right? And then Silent Hill disappears for the better part of a decade or longer. As far as I'm concerned, the fact that like they're coming at they're just saying, hey, we're just going to throw everything at the wall and deliver everything we can possibly make doesn't sound bad to me, right? Because I think there's a certain level of quality here just inherently when it comes to something like Silent Hill 2 that's how they kicked it off, right? Let's just go right through this whole thing, Wes. Silent Hill 2 remake officially confirmed in development by Bloober Team. No mention of PSVR 2.
No, it's not a huge shock. Even if there's going to be some sort of VR support for any of these titles, I would expect the platform holders would probably want to make that announcement. Now, I did hold out some small shred of hope here because, as you noted on your last episode, there is some talk that Sony might not be doing a showcase this year. So I thought maybe some of that might trickle out, but no indication of that here. Yeah. Outside of the fact that a high-profile PlayStation exclusive just got revealed by the publisher.
Yeah, PlayStation 5 exclusive being published by Sony themselves. There's a lot of talk behind the scenes about different studios who are being approached by Sony to make hybrid games that are way less high profile than this. I wish I could share some of those things to give you guys an idea of what we're talking about here. But if some of the lower profile things that aren't Silent Hill are becoming hybrid games, in that Sony's been in talks with these third-party developers, then you'd have to expect that a PlayStation 5 exclusive, something that Sony has an extremely high vested interest in, that they're publishing, you'd say this is a perfect possibility for a hybrid title. And so it didn't get revealed today, but for whatever reason, that doesn't deter me whatsoever. I still feel like this is extremely possible, especially if you played Silent Hill 2. There's not a lot of craziness going on, right? You're running around, you're occasionally swinging a pipe or a 2x4 or something at an enemy, you're shooting a handgun. Like, there's really not any, you're not jumping off of buildings, you're not ziplining, you're not doing any kind of crazy stuff that VR that might be induce motion sickness in VR, or anything that developers or publishers would be scared of. This is the perfect type of game, and especially with Sony publishing it and it being an exclusive, I can't not see this being a VR title.
And I would like to point out that even though they didn't mention it during this transmission, that this game is being worked on in collaboration with Anshar Studios, which has some history in VR development. So we don't know what they're doing specifically, and it could be that they're working on that element of the game.
It was funny during the Silent Hill 2 remake segment, I saw a comment from Steve IRE in the chat that says, "Why remake 2 first?"
My bad. I'm getting confused with the Layers of Fear. So my bad. I'm strike what I just said. That's complete bullshit. I'm talking about another game.
Oh, right on. Okay, yeah. I was just taking everything you said for granted. Like, yeah, it's like obviously. So yeah, it's so Steve IRE in the chat said, why remake Silent Hill 2 first? And it's kind of a good question, I think, because really, why wouldn't you just start over from the beginning? But it's also, isn't it kind of the same reason why we got a Final Fantasy VII remake before Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 remake? It's like, because it's just the most popular one. It's a fan favorite. It's the one that if you're trying to get people back into a franchise that's been sort of dormant for quite a while, wouldn't you want to just go fucking full blast with the most popular one in the series and like, hey guys, remember Silent Hill 2? Remember how great this game was? And just give the fans what they want. And I think that's what we're looking at here, unless you think there's a better explanation for all this.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why. I've often asked that same question about the Resident Evil remakes. Like, why didn't they just remake 1 first and then go on from there? But apparently the original installments, maybe. I wouldn't even begin to speculate on why they do these, why they're doing it this way. But I have often wondered this myself.
Yeah. So they went from that into a game that is really, this is really interesting. A game called Townfall, Silent Hill Townfall, by Annapurna in No Code. What's interesting is that before the show, we'd heard the rumors that 3 different developers were making some Silent Hill games, and so I think my first reaction was, does that mean we're getting 3 Silent Hill games? As it turns out, we're getting 17 Silent Hill games. But what that meant between 3 developers, Bloober Team and Annapurna and No Code, Annapurna and No Code are both making Townfall. This is the heavily rumored new entry in the series. Looks really good, man. This is also when they stopped talking about, unless I missed something, this is when they stopped talking about which consoles things would fall onto, right? We've got Silent Hill 2 Remake being exclusive to PlayStation 5, but then that's the last time we heard any console mentioned, period, throughout the entire showcase, right?
Right, which was kind of odd because I kind of expected the opposite to happen. I expected the Bloober Team title to be the one that was kind of cross-platform, because typically that's what we get from Bloober Team. So it's interesting that that's the exclusive, and this other title is no mention of where it's going to land. But with regard to this title specifically, they didn't give us a lot. It was a very short teaser. But I really dug the vibe of it. I thought it was cool. I like the kind of use of retro technology and stuff to kind of to put us in a little bit into the setting. And I like the tease at the end there where they told us we should go watch it again. Maybe we might have missed something.
Yeah, agreed. Here, let me make sure I don't miss any tips. Ultimate Carnage, the Game Cat with the 4.5 quid says, is it my imagination or was the very pretty lady hosting an actual robot? She never moved or showed any emotion at all, plus the way she talked. I think she's probably just trying to mimic all those characters in Silent Hill 2 and 3 and all the other ones who just talked like they had never spoken words before. I don't know if you guys remember the old Silent Hill games, but man, everybody in Silent Hill, whether it be the main characters or the people you encounter, all talked as if it was the first sentence they'd ever uttered. Like, that shit was... So this is kind of like on brand, I think, if nothing else.
Yeah, a little bit. It was very Japanese. I'll say that.
It was very Japanese. Okay, so it's so funny that we've been waiting for Konami to be like, hey, let's do more Silent Hill stuff, and then they just kind of exploded everywhere today. They've been holding everything back for so long, and then announced a new movie, Return to Silent Hill, which is, did they say it's been 15 years since the last Silent Hill movie, or since the first Silent Hill movie?
I think they said 2006, so 16 years.
Craziness. So, I think since then, and don't get me wrong, I think the first Silent Hill movie is actually pretty decent. The second one is the one I think most people have a problem with. But I still think that video game adaptations, when it comes to movies, have gotten a lot more. I don't know, they're taking it a little bit more seriously these days, or they're trying to. I know there's still been a ton of failures and a ton of things that just like went horribly wrong. But for as far as a director who made a pretty good Silent Hill movie the first time around 16 years ago, back when maybe video games weren't taken as seriously in movie form, he's back to make a new Silent Hill movie. And so I've actually got a surprising amount of faith in this. I think it's going to go pretty well.
I agree. We've all come of age, right? The gamer generation are now kind of the target demographic with stuff like this. And, you know, even our children, all of our children are gamers. You know, it's kind of getting to the point now where the profit potential is there for the big guns to come out. The bigger actors, you know, and bigger studios in Hollywood. So yeah, the last 5 to 10 years especially has been really, really good for video game adaptations. And yeah, I have a lot of faith in this. And you know, on a side note, I'm really looking forward to the Last of Us, which is really not so far off anymore.
Right, that's early 2023, right, on HBO.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Although I feel like I've already seen The Road. I don't know if I need to. They kind of made a movie. They made a game out of The Road, and now they're making it back into. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be great. But
for sure.
And you were kind of looking forward to merch the entire time, and then they actually delivered on some merch. Anything that jumped out at you? Are you gonna be buying any of this stuff?
No, not at all. Honestly, I like when we get you know, the bigger franchises that I'm interested in, because I like t-shirts, man. Like, I'm all about getting new t-shirts. And you know, with most of my favorite games from smaller studios, most of the merchandise is internal. You can't buy it, so either they send it to you or you don't get it. So I like the opportunity to be able to buy stuff. So yeah, I kind of expected this. Konami has always been kind of on point with getting their merch out.
Yeah,
and it was probably the most obvious thing during the whole presentation.
Yeah, the skateboard decks, I will say, those are limited to like 1,000 presses. I don't think they sold out or anything like that. I don't think there's a huge interest in Silent Hill's skateboard decks. But the artwork on those are beautiful. All 4 of them look different enough that when you put them up on the wall side by side, they're just stunning. Very cool stuff. But I was also happy to see the dog. Mr. Sonic and I, one of my moderators, were talking in voice chat yesterday about the dog ending of Silent Hill 2. And it's good that they kind of paid homage to some classic Silent Hill 2, some classic Silent Hill stuff when it came to the merch. I mean, now this is the part of the show where shit just gets even fucking stranger, dude. Because Silent Hill Ascension, they kept saying goes live 2023. In that, they said they were talking. The setup for it was that they were talking about streamers. They love watching streamers play Silent Hill games or scary games, and then the audience participates. And then this sounds like there's heavy audience participation. And then they said that it'll, depending on what you do and the decisions you make, will change the canon of Silent Hill forever. I don't fucking understand any of this. Like, I don't know. I mean, could you? I don't even. I don't know what platform it's going to be for. I don't know how. Is it going to be a Twitch exclusive? Because that seems to be the way that gamers are able to interact with games that people are playing more than anything else. Obviously, there's certainly examples of when it's integrated into the game itself, but I just have no fucking idea. They were so all over the place with this messaging. I don't even know what to expect from Ascension. I don't know what kind of game it's going to be. I don't know what platform it's going to be on. Like, it's just baffling to me.
Well, it's very interesting because they never called it a game. They kept referring to it as an experience, and kept
you're so
emphasizing. Right. They kept emphasizing that the audience was going to be able to shape where the story goes, but they never told us what form the story would come to us in. So we don't know if we're going to be watching cinematics or how this is going to be conveyed to us. All we know is that we're going to have a hand in on it. And, the odd thing is that it's coming from game studios. They didn't call it a game, but it's coming from game studios. So I really have no idea what the hell this thing is. No clue.
Yeah. I will say I saw a little bit of hate for J.J. Abrams in the chat during this segment. I won't call anybody out, Matthew Longo, but I mean, for as much hate as J.J. Abrams gets because of maybe some things that kind of like went off in the wrong direction. We can't forget how amazing Lost was at the beginning. Fringe was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my entire life. Cloverfield's fucking amazing. I mean, like, so, he might have some M. Night Shyamalan magnitude fuck ups, but he also has some of the greatest things that I've ever experienced in my life. Sorry, I'm
Steve makes a good point in the chat about Ascension, saying that it's probably something that's mobile related, because they did show some texting during the promo material, and that makes sense. That's a way that everyone could interact. And Konami, in their hiatus, has been heavy into mobile gaming, so that it all makes perfect sense. It's a good call.
It does, but what threw me off was when it came to streaming, that when they talked about streaming, talk about watching people stream games, and then like the chat interacting or the people watching interacting, that's what threw me off big time. And so maybe there's a mobile element, when we played the Persistence, a second player could jump onto their mobile app and play that. Or when we played Covert, somebody's playing in VR, somebody could jump into the mobile app and help out. So maybe there's an element of side by side, like there's somebody playing a game on a flat screen on the PC, maybe in VR. I'm just throwing VR for funsies out there, but then everybody else downloads the app and gets to participate. So I don't know. Yeah, we could be going cross medium here. Everybody gets to work together.
That makes sense. We've seen stuff like that. Like you mentioned, Battle Blood was kind of like that, right? And there are other titles on other platforms.
Was Battle Blood like that? God, it's been so long.
Yeah, there was a component. I don't think it was there at launch. I think it's something that they added in shortly thereafter. But yeah, I think there was a component where people got to interact with your game.
So that's very. That's the one that I'm most confused about. I won't say most interested in or anything else. It's just that's the one that like I feel like probably I'll be the most disappointed with this one too. When we finally learn what it is, I'll be like, oh man, that's not exactly what I was hoping it would be. But again, I actually think that J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot's inclusion in this and participation in this adds to the intrigue, because I think they've done some crazy good things over the years. And then it finished off with Silent Hill F, which looked like a very Japanese take. I mean, I know that's a weird thing to say about a Japanese company who's making a horror game, but Silent Hill has always kind of taken place with American or at least English speaking main characters and very U.S. looking cities or U.S. looking towns. This looks like more of a Fatal Frame approach or a Kuon approach or something. It looks very, very Japanese. And again, we got no indication as to whether this was something that was like a big console game or a big PC game or something like that, or a mobile game. I don't even think we saw really any gameplay. It was just all a bunch of tone pieces, I think might be the best word for it.
Concept art. It didn't look at all like Silent Hill. It looked cool. I mean, it just looks like I think that maybe they're trying to capitalize on that franchise as much as possible by calling their cool Japanese horror game Silent Hill, when it probably has absolutely nothing to do with Silent Hill.
It would be interesting to branch out, because I mean, Silent Hill always has sort of I shouldn't say this because Silent Hill doesn't always have the same formula, especially when you consider something like the Vita game that felt like it was trying to be Diablo. But a lot of the games tend to be like, oh yeah, you get a letter from somebody who's missing, or you're chasing somebody into the fog, and now you deal with the horrors within. And it would be interesting to see a completely different take on what Silent Hill could be. But not Book of Memories. Like, please, anything but Book of Memories again. That I wanted to like Book of Memories. Like, I was such a big fan of Vita. I was one of the last remaining residents of Vita Island, and I wanted to love that game. I was like, I will force myself to like this game. And man, that shit got repetitive really fast. Probably never made it more than 3 or 4 hours in, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't play any of those later titles. That's why I was so excited initially to see Ito collaborating with Bloober Team, is because Ito was the art director behind the good ones, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting. I would say my excitement level for this stuff went in descending order for the way that they showed it. Like they started with the best thing and then kind of stair-step down throughout the transmission.
Well, they also went from very clear and concise messaging and saying this is what this game is, this is who's making it, and this is what you can expect from it. PlayStation 5 exclusive, published by Sony. It's a remake of a game that you've played. It's very clear and concise. And then gradually, I think as they went on, the messaging the transmission got more and more obscured and confused, and I mean intentionally so, right? I think they've got a lot more to reveal about each of these titles, but at the same time, it's hard to get excited about stuff that you don't know anything about. And so I'm kind of with you. My excitement level went downhill with each thing that they announced, only because they revealed less and less about each of the things. But I still have total faith that a lot of these could turn out to be really good. And I got to say, man, for Konami being so silent for so long about Silent Hill and about gaming in general, man, they've done a lot of they put out the Contra collection and the Castlevania collection and all these things, and all they're doing is kind of rehashing stuff that worked for them prior. They're actually putting out a bunch of new titles. Strangely, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Wes, were any of these titles developed internally at Konami?
No, this is all Konami lending out their IP to other studios from what I recall. I don't think that Konami's actually developing any of this stuff, man. So, which is fine. It's just fine. I would rather them take this route than kind of they're unproven in modern video games. I mean, they haven't made a modern video game in a decade or more. So, I would rather have them place these beloved franchises in the hands of experts at this point.
And I just hope the experts are actually experts, because some of these teams like Annapurna's fine, right? But are they making? And again, it's been a while since I followed Annapurna. I'm sure that they've put out a lot of great titles since the last game that I played by them. But hopefully these are the right teams, and hopefully all of these teams came to Konami with the right pitches and said, this is why we're the right team for this game. But man, it looks like we're about to have an entire. It's a Silent Hill renaissance. My hope is that. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, hopefully it's a Konami renaissance, and we're going to see more from other franchises as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because, I mean, Metal Gear's been dormant for way too long. Castlevania's been dormant for way too long. I mean, even Contra, man, it's so craziness. They had some of the best. I mean, I think back in the day in the NES and Super Nintendo era, it was really Konami and Capcom, just fucking leading the charge. There were always other developers out there, but they were just consistent with their quality and quantity too. Wasn't it Konami back on the NES when Nintendo had you could only release 6 Nintendo games a year? So Konami's like, fuck you, we're gonna create the Ultra label, and then we're gonna release 10 games a year. You couldn't hold them back. And then for the last decade, it's been really sad to watch them sort of wither away and kind of rely on their old titles, not just their old franchises, but their old titles. Again, just releasing collections, not releasing anything new. So it's definitely interesting to see them trying to get back into it, and I've got my fingers crossed. As far as PSVR 2 stuff, which if any of these games do you hope or expect to eventually get revealed to have PSVR 2 support, Wes?
If you're asking me which one's most likely, I don't know. A part of me wants to say, Well, let me just start by saying probably if I had to pick which one I would want, it would be the Bloober Team one, obviously, Silent Hill 2. I would say that, if I'm trying to decide which one is likely, I would say either that one or the final one, because we know so little about that final title and what the scope is and what it's driving at. But to be quite honest, any of these games I could see being a VR game. So I don't know. I would probably be surprised if we didn't get any of them in VR. I would expect at least one of them to be a VR game. I would say probably the best bet would be coming from Bloober Team, but it's pure speculation at this point.
Yeah, the fact that most of the rumors that we'd been hearing over the last year or so turned out to be true, and that they were VR elements to some of these rumors the entire time means, well, why isn't that element? Why is that one particular element of these rumors the only thing that's not turning out to be true? Again, I know I've said it 3 times already, but the fact that Silent Hill 2 Remake is a PlayStation 5 exclusive, published by Sony, again, a very high-profile title, something that a lot of people are looking forward to. No reason whatsoever it couldn't be in VR. I just feel like I would almost guarantee that this is a PSVR 2 title. Did we get release dates for anything today? I was taking a lot of notes, but that's not something I saw anywhere.
No, but I expect that this Bloober Team remake is going to be soon. There's already a store page up for it. That might even drop. If it doesn't drop this year, it'll drop early next year, I think.
And some of the rumors were pointing to demos, right? And
yeah, that was for if I understand correctly, for the final title, the Sakura or Silent Hill F, I think was the one that got a rumored demo. But again, this was all rumors and leaks. It could be crossed up and mixed speculation there, or I may have just misunderstood the article that I quickly read before doing this. So
I'm just looking through the PlayStation Store and just seeing if anything. Nothing on the store. But let me just go back to the main page and search for Silent Hill. Just make sure that nothing comes up, because I don't want to drop the ball and be like, hey, have a nice day, everybody. And then be like, oh, but there was all this stuff on the... yeah, nothing's showing up on PlayStation.com either. So I'm sure it'll show up eventually.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, Wes, this was this was fun. Actually, I will say this is one of the more interesting streams I think that we've done on Without Parole recently, because so frequently when we're watching the Game Awards or Summer Game Fest or anything else, there's a lot of downtime between the things we're interested in. But here we are. It was not only Konami, but it was Silent Hill the whole time. And at no point was I like, we should just fucking stop and talk about this, because like the whole time I was like, what are they going to say next? I think it was pretty action packed from beginning to end. I think it was pretty well paced, with the exception of what we said earlier about it not knowing. As we went further along, we got less and less information on each announced title. Other than that, I think this was a really great move for Konami and a great move for the Silent Hill franchise. And I'm really excited to see what they say next. Hopefully it's soon. Apologies to everybody in the chat, guys. This was Gamescast today. I'm really, really sorry. It was stream this and talk about it, or do Gamescast and talk about what we already saw, and this seemed to make more sense. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Any closing thoughts, Wes, before we get out of here for the day?
No, man, just that this is kind of, I expect will open the floodgates. This has been one of the worst kept secrets in gaming over the last couple of years. Tons of leaks and rumors, and I would expect that to expand now that it's official. I imagine we'll hear quite a bit more through back channels in the coming days and weeks.
Now I kind of feel bad that we're not doing Gamescast. Should we close out with a game of 20 questions just to make everybody feel like this was a proper episode?
I'm always down, man.
All right. I do think that you would be up for this.
All right. Well, give me a half a second here, because I have no game chosen. But,
absolutely. Here, I'll just flip over to full screen over here. And hey, everybody, how's it going? Brian Paul here, sitting here outside of VR with my classic Without Parole mug, right? Do you guys remember this? Do you remember this? There was only like a few of them made. I know you can't really see that, but that's Michelle and me and Dez and Jeremy. Handcuffs. We used to use handcuffs as the Without Parole logo. And before we covered VR stuff, it was an NES controller. Instead of saying Nintendo, it says Without Parole. Yep. I thought I was creative. But guess what? Everybody else on the face of the planet is doing the exact same thing. So if you have one of these mugs, you have like a very, very limited edition mug that's only, I would say, less than 10 remaining. When they showed up initially, the handle was broken off of like half of them, and so they gave me a refund. But that means whatever, I think I ordered like 15 or 20 or something like that, and half of them showed up broken. So if you have a mug, very, very limited edition. Nihilus Ryan, the game feline with a $5 tip, says, "Great job, fellas. Now I just got to rewind to the beginning so I can see it all." Oops. Nihilus Ryan, I do apologize for the beginning of the stream. Dude, scheduling wise, so thrown off today. I thought I had an extra hour, and then next thing I know, Wes is like, "You ready to go?" And I was like, what, an hour? And I was like, "Oh no, a minute." And so we actually started this at the absolute last second, thinking I had way more time to prepare. And so some of the early stuff, I think the stream was running at like 480p or something like that at the beginning. So my apologies to anyone who was watching the beginning and saw that it was running at a low resolution. How's the game choosing happening over there?
I suppose we could go. I've got one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get the ball rolling here then. Let me put up a timer. I know you don't play by timer rules, but this ain't your show, Wes. On your market, set, go. Is this a horror game?
Some would say yes. I would. It certainly has horror elements. Yeah, it would probably fall into that category, but I wouldn't call it like a classic horror game.
Okay. We'll just write kinda horror.
Kind of horror.
Has this developer made other PSVR games before?
Before, or have they made other PSVR games?
Has this developer made other PSVR games?
They have made other PSVR games.
Okay. Do you do a lot of shooting in this game?
You do.
Okay. Is there any locomotion in this game? Do you teleport around or walk around?
You do.
Okay. There goes Brookhaven, you guys. Ooh, good one, PPO. Can you play this game outside of VR? On a flat screen?
No, I don't think so. Unless there's some weird version of it I've never heard of. But
All right.
no,
That takes care of Spooky's PPO. It's not Brookhaven because there is locomotion or movement of some kind. It can't be Immortal Legacy because those guys have never made another PSVR game before or since. Offcore, good question. Is there any multiplayer in this game?
Yes.
Okay. Let's figure out the locomotion here. I don't know. It can't be Immortal Legacy, guys, because there's a flat screen version of that. It can't be Rush of Blood because that's definitely a horror game. No question about that. Is interesting. Is the multiplayer in this game co-op?
It is.
Okay.
7.
I don't suppose this game's made by Vertigo Games by any chance.
It is.
Okay. So that narrows it down very quickly. Let's just make sure it's not After the Fall. Does this game have 2 DLC packs known as The Damned and what's the other one called? I just forgot. Does this have DLC called The Damned?
The Damned DLC and Deadman.
Deadman DLC. Hell yeah. Is that a yes?
That's a yes.
I'm just bringing up the trailer. Is this game Arizona Sunshine?
Perfect, Brian. In 9 questions, all affirmative. You nailed it, bro.
Nice.
Well, give it away. Like, what made you go to Vertigo Games? I thought there would be a few more questions.
Well,
got there.
I'll tell you why I think it was Rypop in the chat that said Killing Floor Incursion, and to me I was like, okay, but that like what other, and so I started thinking about co-op campaigns, and so yeah, I just happened to go to Arizona Sunshine before I went to Killing Floor Incursion.
Nice.
A little bit of luck.
I think a game that I'm sure most people would disagree with me, but I think that it's an underrated game. In spite of the jank and weirdness with the avatars or what have you, it's a very fun game to play with friends. It was how I taught all of my children to play VR, like full locomotion VR, and yeah, man, it's still a good time. Even to this day, I enjoy it, having played through it a couple dozen times.
I think in co-op, especially, this game is a lot of fun. At launch there was a ton of jank, there was a ton of problems, and it's gotten a lot better. And I got to say, and I know you won't agree with me on this, Wes, I hate to bring a lot of negativity into this conversation. However, I think After the Fall made me appreciate what Arizona Sunshine offered a whole lot more, because I was like, man, After the Fall, by comparison, content-wise, like barely scratches the surface of what Arizona Sunshine offers content-wise. So definitely,
I agree with that statement actually, and I think if I could have gotten I still, as much as I play After the Fall, and I play it 2 or 3 times a week, still, I think I would trade it for an Arizona Sunshine too. I would much rather have another story campaign that I can bring friends along with modern graphics and modern gameplay mechanics. That sounds better to me.
JC in the chat is claiming the win on that one. You might have had something to do with it too, my friend. Wes, before we get out of here for the day, anything happening on Virtual Strangers? I mean, you guys should all be subscribing anyway. Click the link in the description below to go join Wes and his friends over there talking about not just PlayStation VR games. And I should say not PlayStation VR games, because there's nothing to talk about on the PlayStation VR side of things lately. But not just PSVR 2, but all sorts of VR. What is happening over there as we delve deeper into the Halloween season, my friend?
Again, we are. We should start with this. Because I don't know if I'll be back on the air before I do that. It is time, friends, for my annual deep dive live stream of Here They Lie, where we're going to play the game from start to finish, and I'm going to enlighten you on things that maybe you didn't understand, maybe things that you didn't notice. Tell you, a lot of people that play this game say, "What the fuck did I just see? What's it about?" I'm going to give you my best take on it, and I don't know exactly when I'm going to be doing that, but it will be before the end of the month, which means it could be sometime this week. So if you haven't already, as Brian said, click the red button, ring the bell, so you'll be notified when we go live with that one. Probably next Tuesday, because it's my next day off. But if not, it won't be long thereafter.
Nice.
But anyway, I've got some thoughts on that, some different ideas about that game and what it actually is trying to convey, and it's one of my favorite. So it's the thing I look forward to most about October is revisiting Here They Lie.
Nice. Well, I think that you and I need to film a Why We Love episode about Here They Lie then for the Patreon folks, because I have not been good about getting anything up on Patreon lately. I haven't been good about getting anything done over the last, I would say, month and a half or so. Obviously, it's just been crazy. You guys know about a third of the shit. And then the behind the scenes has been 2/3 of shit that, I don't even want to tell you about, because otherwise you'd be like, "Oh, Brian," and I'd be like, "Oh, it's okay," and then you'd be like, "But we love you," and I'd be like, "I know," and then we'd have this whole interaction when it would just be a big fucking pity party. So let's not go there. My place is fucking haunted, though. If you guys want to, that is going to be a litter box episode, because I need to tell everybody about the recent haunt things that I've experienced here. It's been fucking crazy, dude. It's almost like it's ramping up for the Halloween season, but when it's real, a little more disturbing, I gotta say that. So definitely a lot more shit happening on Patreon soon enough. But of course, it doesn't matter if you're a Patreon supporter. We love you no matter what. We're just so happy that you're all part of this community. Thank you everybody for hanging out today, watching the stream with us. Thank you to everybody who supports us on Patreon. Thank you to everybody who tipped during the chat. Thank you to everybody who helped me during 20 questions. And of course, thank you to everybody who sat back, watched the show, didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there and we love you just as much. Happy Halloween season, Wes.
Happy Halloween season to you, Brian.
Bye, everyone.
So Twitcher's